I got a Jim cut of the My Truth, the Rape of Two Coreys in the Lost Boys font, parentheses.
In the Lost Boys font.
Because he used the Lost Boys font. But anyway, this beginning clip, though, this is him in the theater when the stupid servers weren't working. Because he also went through a cheap company. So he's trying to say he was hacked. It's such
No,
bullshit.
Jim. He went through like a top company.
Yeah, exactly.
He got Black Hat Service or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
White Glove.
White Glove Service. But here's him like getting the news and giving to the theater about the hacking.
That's what we've been seeing since the beginning of this. And they've been clearing it and dealing with it, but they keep...
Now, I guess they have someone on the speakerphone on the mic, like supposedly the
Look at
servers, and he's like, "Oh, quiet, listen to the good
Look at his face.
information."
Oh, what?
Coming back. You can't fight it off. It's too strong.
Wow! Holy crap! They're hacking us in real time.
Everyone was saying as a joke, we're all in our chat being like, "Oh, the wolf pack got him."
Yeah.
But then he really started saying the wolf pack.
Well, I love that he's dressed like a nutcracker come to life, and like his wife is like also like
a Polly Pocket.
Yeah. She's like one of those Barbies dancers that you pull on a ripcord and it spins through the air.
Oh, yeah. Sky dancers.
Yes.
So there you go. You know who it is.
Oh, he's got that crazy lady that runs his
in like
shit.
10 minutes.
Oh, I love that too, because he doesn't want to say the wolf pack. So he has to look to someone in the audience and be like, "Wait, you know who it is?
Who?
What do you mean? How do you know who it is?"
I'll say this out loud. Hold on, wait. What did you just say?
It's Wolfpack. They've been bragging that they're going to do this crap. I was hoping they were full of it because a lot of times they are. But I mean, I can name names right freaking now. Susie, Shannon. I mean, it's all of these people.
Yes,
Corey Haim's mom.
Yeah, she's like Susie, Shannon,
the wolf pack.
Anyways, now we're getting into the movie. So this is the intro clip. He's dragging the dead body of his quote-unquote best friend, Corey Haim. They're playing the 911 audio of his mom calling when he's dead, basically. And Corey's listening to it on a phone to react.
I can't stay calm. I don't know what's going on.
That's why. Stay calm to me. We try to help him, okay? Are you with him right now?
Hey, listen, he's not breathing.
Ma'am, are you with him right now?
Yes.
How old is he?
And I love how bored the 911 operator
It always,
is, too.
every time you play a 911 call, it's like, "I'm being murdered. Shut up."
Ma'am,
What's your address? Hey, ma'am, what is your address?
If you don't calm down. Help! Ma'am, I'm going to hang up.
He's 38 years old. I don't know what's going on. He had a fever this morning and cold.
Okay, ma'am, listen, is he awake right now?
No. Poor, get up. Poor.
Okay, ma'am, is he breathing right now?
No, he's not.
Look at him pretending to be sad.
Yeah, he's trying really hard.
He's got so much makeup on that even if he could like shed a tear, it'd just get stuck in all the foundation.
His eyes went backwards. Cora, come on, honey.
He looks like a ventriloquist dummy.
It does. Yeah, look at that. He's got the one tear coming. He's ready.
Terrifying.
Yeah, he does. He looks like the Goosebumps dummy.
Yeah, he looks like
Night of the
Slappy.
Dummy.
Slappy from Night of the Dummy.
Well, you guys, you're way too hard on him. He was raped. I mean, he wasn't raped.
Yeah. I mean, no, we'll get into that because it's called The Rape of Two Coreys. I mean, he gets into a little of his stuff, but it's big time on Haim. So now this here is getting into his the reality show, The Two Coreys, and like season 2
With like Gary Cooper is there.
and this sets up the mission that Corey Feldman's been on since Haim passed away 10 years ago.
Half the movie takes place on this thing you use to get by, like fucking
Yes,
the
by
YouTube,
YouTube,
censors
yeah.
and shit. This fake TV.
This really bad, like put on the TV thing.
I just need you to take care of you. I'm fine. Is that a f***ing intervention? Why?
You've got serious issues.
It wasn't a f***ing intervention. I'm done. Done. I've done everything I can to help fucking guy. He's pathetic.
He is pathetic.
It's over.
He's
I have to go back
pathetic.
to
I
our
hate
life,
him.
Right.
and I
Piece
have
of
to-
shit, garbage
to worry
person.
about us.
And that episode.
Pause real quick. You brought it up like while we were watching it, but isn't it so weird that Corey wasn't insane?
No,
Like,
that's
and this was like 2000.
Yes. Yeah, Corey Feldman.
Like 2.
That's how you know that the right now Corey is the fakest, phoniest, like true maniac, because you've seen him just be a person.
The anger and the screaming was real. The things said back and forth, it wasn't scripted and it wasn't produced. It was a very real moment.
Don't look at
After
the
the
camera
shooting
though.
of the second season of the Two Coreys, we're in the back of the car doing our promo shots where we had this promo with a car and we're both sticking our heads out looking different directions, and that was their idea, to show that there's this kind of new distance between us. And while we're in the car, of course, leave it to Corey to give me that super uncomfortable moment. We're already uncomfortable, and you could break the tension with, an ice pick. And he goes, can me and my mom stop by can we all have dinner tonight? Let's just have one nice dinner together.
Why was it so uncomfortable? Why is he being like, of course it was uncomfortable, and then
Yeah.
Corey has to hit me with this thing of like
Let's
hey,
have
can we
dinner.
hey, can we have a nice dinner?
Yeah, what's the logic behind this story?
It's because these guys were not friends, and Corey Feldman has to pretend that they were best friends the whole time when they weren't.
And from the chat, Boat Knight says, is Jim trying to say Corey Haim is the more interesting story? No, Corey Feldman is saying Corey Haim is the more interesting story.
Yeah, it's Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
He's been dragging his, quote, best friend's body through the mud for 10 years now.
His mom is just like, please let him rest.
He's been riding it like one of those hoverboards in the Ninja Turtles arcade game. Whereas that just on a fucking hoverboard. That's Corey Feldman on top of Corey Haim.
He's doing the Weekend at Bernie's, except he's just a skeleton he's dragging around now with his shades on.
He's slowly turning into Raphael.
It was very
Or is he
amicable.
Donatello?
It was
And listen to this. Listen to this. This is the fakest story ever.
a friendly get together. Later that evening when they were gone, my husband at the time came and told me that the two of them, him and Corey Haim, had this conversation, and they had discussed filming a third season.
I said, I don't want a third. I want this to be over. I want you to get the help you need.
No.
And I guess
you were
Haim
demanding
said to
a
him,
third.
if something happens to me, I want you to tell my story.
Nope.
So
Yeah.
Corey,
Listen to this. Listen to this bullshit of how Corey Haim made Corey Feldman promise, like, hey, if I die or whatever, you have to tell my
Fucking
story.
Why did it take him 10 years?
Well, because
it was only recently that he decided to tell the story.
Well, but I mean, you remember the GoFundMes and the money that he needs.
Yeah,
to
but
get?
that was 8 years after all of this.
I'm not going to tell your story. You're here. You tell your story. Write a book.
Corey, go to them.
I love how in Corey's Feldman's version of it, it's always like, nah, of course not. You're alive. Like he always has to be the good guy, even in
You're
the
the
story.
man, bro.
What are you gonna die or something? Why are you asking me to do this?
We're gonna live forever, you and me.
All right? Maybe I don't have the balls you do. I don't know. I just can't do it. I said, I'll tell you what I'll tell you. You've got a year right now.
Well, yeah, see, that's important because Corey Haim even told Corey Feldman in this fake story, he's like, I don't know, man. You got these big balls. You're just so strong, way stronger than I am.
I was filming Lost Boys 3, and he said, you're the man, Corey.
To get your life together. And if during that year you can mature enough to get yourself healthy, then you're going to have
how
the strength
poorly tied
to
his
tell
tie
the story
is.
yourself. And you'll still be here.
It's like really badly
So he
done.
goes,
You tried tying a tie on
and
a
if I'm
puppet.
not, it's fine. If you're not, and you really die for some reason, then I will tell your story.
Begrudgingly, I will
promise.
And he's like, well,
Fine, I promise.
Fine, I
What
promise.
a fake. That's the fakest story I've ever heard.
Such horse shit.
I love the idea to make the word "my" the tiniest thing in the world.
Corey Feldman. Good to see you, man.
All right, so this is where they show this guy here on their Two Corey's fake documentary reality show This guy here is now the director of this documentary.
Yeah, what is this goofy TV thing, by the way? What is this?
You ever saw their surreal reality? Remember when VH1?
No, he's talking about what we were talking about. The framing.
What is this fake?
It's just some bizarre framing they're doing for
It's like a little spice.
I assume they have rights to use clips from their own reality show, but maybe they don't.
Maybe they don't, and they're trying to get around YouTube censors.
But this guy here, he's coming off of directing a couple Lifetime Christmas movies to make the My Truth documentary with his friends Corey, and he tells some great stories about hanging with Haim.
How are you? This is Corey Haim.
So nice to meet you, man. How's it going?
Good.
When Feldman and Corey Haim got the show, the two Coreys, that was just a validation of a desire I had, which was to get the Coreys back in a movie.
That wasn't your desire.
And we get to meet the crazy characters in The Line, and you two play. You're Timothy, and you're Jim.
Listen to his pitch. He's pitching a movie called The Line, and it's about a line, and there's crazy characters there, including the two Coreys.
They're like they're in line for something?
They're
like
in
at the bank?
I know. I mean, I guess it's kind of...
Whoa!
It's kind of now. They're in lines for a cronut or some bullshit, some hipster thing or a nice club.
Yeah.
But it's like, what if they're in the line the whole time?
That's like that's more of a bottle episode than a movie.
And then
pitch.
like once they get to it, and it's like time to go in, cut to credits.
Yes.
Look at these two drug addicts fucked up.
Look
on
how
drugs.
thrilled they are to be in this movie.
I had heard all the rumors and knew all the stories and all the run-ins he had with the law, and I was just like, is he going to be okay to be able to do this? Is he going to be okay to be able to do the show? Is he going to be okay?
I was worried
to
mostly
be the
about
guy
his
that
health.
I remember being
not
opposite
about
Feldman
getting
in
my
these movies.
dumb movie.
And he was terrific. He was great.
This is
I
great
saw him
here.
2 other times after that experience. This was in 2010. We have a discussion about what the sequel to License to Drive would look like. Haim starts talking about how he had this idea for License to Fly.
Look at it. He's got a spark in his eyes.
Yeah.
Whoa!
It's like, wait, License to Fly, huh?
Yeah, this fucking drug addict.
This
was
fucking
like,
fucked up piece of shit was like having a moment of not clarity.
And this fucking nobody is like, ooh, I can cash in on that has-been.
what if we do License to... Let me
He's
sit down for this one.
He's dressed like that lady, the coronavirus lady with the fucking bag on her head. Like, what about this? License to Fly. I was like, whoa. License to Fly?
License to
He
Fly,
pissed
you
himself
say.
and shat on the floor and fell over.
He's either a great actor or he stupidly thought that was a great idea. Because look at him, dude. He's not faking it.
Well,
he's like holding his hand as he writes himself a check.
Like,
He's
this is the realest story we've heard all night.
Because it feels like, on one hand, I'm amazed by it because it seems like the obvious dumb idea is it's just, License to Drive too, and their parents, and they have kids that are, going through the similar adventure. You know what I mean? And that seems like the logical explanation, not License to Fly, where I guess they're going to fly planes around.
They borrow their dad's plane. Their dad, played by John Travolta, who flies planes.
And he starts talking about that, and I'm like, this is awesome. I love how he's here. He's wants to do this. This is great. Not too long after, Haim delivered a treatment. Horrible grammatical mistakes. Spelling was terrible. There was an airplane on the cover of the treatment under the words "License to Fly," and
looked like a baby druid.
Yeah,
looked like a
stupid
retarded
bitch.
baby druid.
I was like, no, I'll write it.
Every page written on McDonald's wrappers for old hamburgers.
Yeah, you'd almost think he'd say it's bad, but I mean,
I tell you, the treatment was great.
no way.
It was great.
There's no way. But like, how does he not remember? Like, if it was great, he would almost say like, it was gonna have blah blah blah, or it's gonna have this.
But he remembered all the details about how poorly made it was.
It's about flying, not a plane, but they can fly now.
And I love that this guy's in it. I don't know if you guys remember, but do you remember Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead?
Yeah.
This is The Dishes Are Done, brother.
Wait a minute. Pull him up. I don't even remember
Why is he in this?
You don't remember The Dishes Are Done, man?
No, I don't remember the movie.
Oh.
Biggest pain is that he's not here now. Because I really do miss him. I genuinely do. I think that he's just an amazing guy.
He was just really
See, that's
nice
what emotion
guy,
looks
really
like.
sweet guy,
Yeah.
and also fun.
Like when you're like crying about someone that you care about,
You, like,
not
care
like
about a
that
person.
that sad fucking
That sad
pathetic
where
excuse.
you're like Corey Feldman straining to fucking look
He's doing
sad.
that Tom Cruise Magnolia squeeze your hand.
He loved to have a good time, and he laughed, and he made everybody laugh, and
He was such a goofball. You know, he really was. He was
No,
like
he was
a
off
kid.
goofballs.
I was just about to say something like that. And he loved doing goofballs.
He's such a goofball, especially when he did goofballs.
Especially all the goofballs he'd bring for us to smoke.
Yeah.
What's a goofball?
Goofball is Xanax wrapped in, I don't know, heroin.
Yeah, I just figured it'd be some kind of drug.
I know speedball is coke and heroin together.
Jesus.
You know, trapped in a man's body. He just was silly and free spirited too.
Zen. Uncle Corey. Hi, buddy. Love you.
Overall, he treated
was for
me
see
like
Corey's son.
like a son. Haim was
Corey's son's
like a
Zen.
second dad. He
All I can think when I see this is poor kid, dude.
Wait,
Oh,
he had, I didn't know Corey had a kid.
Yeah, that's his son right there. And
Ugh.
Corey Haim was just saying, "Hey, Zen."
Yeah, this
Yeah.
poor fucker.
He's there at his arcade jukebox.
he cared for me like my dad. He,
Oh, and you get to see Feldman's brother. You get to see what Feldman should look like. Because you know, usually the
yeah.
celebrity is like the normal one, and the brother's the weird looking one. But now it's the other way around.
His kid looks like he's about to say, "Hey, you guys."
I don't know. It's hard to talk about because he was a really good person.
Haim.
Yeah, there he is. That's
What?
Feldman's
Whoa,
brother.
that is what Corey Feldman should look like.
Yes,
He's
yeah.
just like a successful real estate broker.
Is definitely like a member of the family for us. You know, we'd all hang out a lot, and you know, we'd do a lot of fun things together.
Goofball.
Corey Haim, ladies and gentlemen. Corey Haim. Hi. What?
Oh, this is great. Let me set this up a little bit. So yeah, this is the last footage of the two Coreys together.
Yeah, because he looks bloated and terrible.
But and Corey Haim even says, like, he looks at Corey Feldman, and remember how Corey Feldman always has that long strand of hair? And he's
no,
like,
I don't quite remember that.
and he's kind of like, what the fuck is your hair? And Feldman tries to turn this into an origin story. Like, listen to what he says Haim says about his hair and why he kept it. It's fucking perfect. It's
Why do you look like a fucking idiot?
You know Corey Haim, ladies and gentlemen. Corey Haim. Hi. What?
That was you.
No, the hair
Corey,
got
come
long.
on now.
It was a weird fashion choice. I got
He's
really
like,
yeah, because he's like making faces.
yeah,
He's like, what's up with your hair?
He's clowning on him.
This is someone that hasn't seen you in years. Is like, oh,
Yeah,
you're
he's-
looking good.
100% clowning on him.
But now listen to Feldman's version of what Haim really means here.
short, chopped up hair, and then this one long piece. And I see Corey like the next day or 2 days later. He's like, "What's up with the hair, man? I like it. I think it's really dope."
He said that off camera.
Yeah. What's
No,
up,
no,
man?
no.
This is
Don't-
great.
I like that he described the other about a part of his hair as weird and chopped up. He's like, I had this really weird haircut.
I love that he's lying about a clip we just watched.
Yeah, in his own
Like
documentary.
he's like, "Hey, here's this clip. Anyway, I'm going to lie about the content of it, but you just watched it. We just watched it. He could have just not shown us
And he's
then lied
intercutting-
about it. Then we'd believe him. But instead, he showed it to us and then lied. And we're like, no, that's not what happened. We just watched it.
and he's intercutting the clip over his story, and we could see Haim's face is not saying any of that. Oh, that's dope, man.
If the Wolfpack were real, the best thing they could do is not hack this and just let it happen. Like everything about it just disproves anything he says.
And I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah. I mean, for real.
It's
like, out
sick.
of all the things you've ever done, like, that is like your signature, bro. You should keep that."
If he said that, first of all, he may have actually said that.
But he was all fucked up.
Because because he hates Corey
Yeah,
Feldman.
he was saying
He's
it
like,
like,
that's fucking
that's,
cool,
That's
bro.
your signature.
You look sick.
He's laughing. He's like, yeah, you know, out of everything you've done, that is it, bro.
Yeah.
That's you to a T.
He goes back and snorts goofballs with his real friends. He's like, yeah, I told him there it was cool.
And I was like, "Interesting. All right. Well, maybe I will."
What do you
And
think
then
he
he died.
keeps in his zipper shirt?
And then he died.
And now he's dead. Oh, yeah. I didn't even realize his zipper shirt. I was
What do you
just
think he keeps in there? Or do you think it opens up to his like chest?
It opens up to his nipple, yeah. He wants his nipple licked at any moment.
He's wearing a breastfeed shirt.
He has lady tits.
He does.
Shortly after that. So I think there's something in this that I've always felt this connection to him. I think that this represents finding justice.
But now he's building this backstory of how like
he's just lying.
So now you can't. He thinks like now you won't be able to make fun of it because he's like, well, no, this was a promise I made to Corey Haim.
Yeah,
because he loved this, and then he died right after he said how great it was. It was like his last wish.
One, cut it, shut up.
Yeah.
Or two, you're a liar. Fuck you.
Don't worry, it might become a very important narrative piece throughout this documentary.
It's the literal thread. His hair is thread, and in no way is it him trying to be Michael Jackson because Michael Jackson raped him.
Yeah.
He's never been raped.
Well,
I mean,
there's
2 Coreys have been raped.
I mean, there's
mentally.
some inadvertent subtext here that almost points the finger at Michael Jackson that I'm very surprised made it into the final edit of this movie.
No.
We'll get there.
I just figured it out. Corey Feldman raped Corey Haim.
That's what I was saying. I was saying, what if the long Kong was that? Yeah, he just came out at the end and was like, it was me.
Yeah, he's clearly the one that raped him.
Boat Knight's very upset that we can't give Corey the benefit of the doubt.
In some way. And I feel like when I feel like I've done my job, then I'll cut it off.
Yeah.
I get a message from my phone machine one day, and Robin had been telling me, oh, this boy Corey, he's so cute. And I'm like, well, thanks. It's about time you notice. And she's like, no, not you. No, this other guy, Corey. And,
so
he's in all the
fucking
teen
full of
magazines.
himself.
But I love how he's so mad. Like
He doesn't. That part adds nothing to the story. It's just him flexing on himself.
Well, no, it's great because she's like, oh, Corey's so cute, and he's like, thank you, and she's like, well, no, not you, Corey Haim.
She thought she was
like,
calling
that's
him
the
up and
story.
talking in the third
'Cause
person.
That's what's great because now this is where he kind of shows the real Feldman because he's really like mad that there's another person named Corey.
He's right next to you all the time. You don't see him. And I'm like, what? What do you mean there's another guy and he spells his name the same and everything? What's going on here? And he was kind of growing. He was becoming a thing. And at first I was very like, who is this kid? Who's this kid moving into town? He's moving in on my girl. He's moving in on my job. What's going on here?
And he's saying at first he was like that, but honestly, that never
is
at first and forever. That's how it was.
Yeah, he's like, now that he's long dead, it's time to fucking completely bury him.
Yeah, it's time to bury this fuck.
And then one day when we were in the casting for Lost Boys, Joel Schumacher says, he's on the phone with a friend. He's like, oh my God, this is going to be an amazing movie. I've got the 2 Coreys in it. I said, what? What 2 Coreys?
I'm the Corey. Me, Corey. Corey, good.
He's in
Corey
a movie with him. He's like, who? Huh? 2 Coreys.
There was this father-son dynamic there. Corey was very fatherly to Haim.
John Hughes came along.
Yeah, there's not. What is that? What is that?
You know how your father's always jealous of you and mad that you have the same name as him?
Hey, you guys are basically the same age and he hates you.
Corey Feldman told that look, if you want to direct this movie, you better say I was like the father figure.
I don't want to direct this movie. I got dirt on you when you raped Corey. I never raped Corey. I'm going to say it.
And showed that kids could have these rich stories and you could hang 90 minutes on a child's plot. And that timing to come along in the 80s when kids' story being told, and then to find something that works, a pairing of the 2 Coreys.
This is great here.
Was like the Beatles.
Oh my God.
If you can find a group like 2 Coreys, it's almost like the Beatles.
This guy was like, Corey, I will say anything you want me to say. Just give me $2,000.
It's Corey Mania, baby.
Fans dug it up.
I grew up in the 80s, and there was something about duos in film that have a chemistry, that have, this a brotherly kind of banter, that have comedic timing.
There's something about
It's
people
not
talking
that
to each
prevalent.
other.
And I really felt there's a reason why the 2 Coreys became the phenomenon that it did.
The time that I spent with Haim.
Weren't they in like
a good
2
deal of
movies
it-
together?
Well, I mean, it ended up becoming a thing. I mean, they were in Lost Boys, License to Drive. I've never seen Dream a Little Dream, but then they
fuck
just
is that
started.
movie?
I've never seen it. Then they just kind of like latched onto that and just did when they were not famous really anymore. They were like, oh, let's keep doing movies together.
Yeah, Corey couldn't
We
get
have a
over
hook.
that he has the same name as him.
This is where they start getting into how Corey Haim is a sex fiend. This guy sets it up all here. It's great because everyone else kind of talks about Corey Haim being raped, but whenever they cut to this guy who was in Lost Boys as well, he's basically like, no, Corey Haim was just gay and he liked to have sex with men. Like, that's basically the way he tells the story.
Was talking about sex or how to get sex or, again, we were 15 or I was 15 or 15, 16. And that's I talked about that with most people, but with Haim it was very much a topic. It was
He's
something that he
15 in
was
that picture?
really interested in. These are very fond memories, you know, Haim and I spending the day together. This kid who I was a kind of an idol and then became a friend, and we were just spending the day together. I think we even rode to the beach that day, like a big, you know, like a bike ride to the beach. We're hanging out in the hot tub, and he was like, so, like, do you do gay shit and stuff, you know? And I just thought he was messing with me.
Dope
It doesn't seem like he
icebreaker.
was messing
Like
with
sit
me
in a
now.
hot tub?
You like to do gay shit?
Hey, so do you like do gay shit or whatever?
Like it seemed like he was kind of feeling the waters out, you know, and I wasn't interested, you know.
I'm
but
not gay.
He
Corey was super
jerked
gay.
off with the jet in the jacuzzi.
What?
Yeah, so he just jerked off. He just jerked off with the jet.
Hey, do you like to do gay shit? No answers, huh?
I mean, I assume that he got the impression that I wasn't into having sex with men, you know. But I also think that, I also don't necessarily think that he was partial to men. I think he was partial to women, actually. Yeah, and I think that the men
Corey's like,
thing
no,
was...
no.
You know, now that I think of it in the context of what happened to him and his journey in that way, it makes a lot of sense. I think at the time I just thought he was a star and he was thinking about getting laid constantly.
First day that I meet him, we decided to go to the beach and have our fathers meet and play football on the beach. It was a fantastic afternoon, very normal. I love the kid. Immediately, I loved the kid. Immediately, he grew on me. I was
The
like, this
kid?
is like
Dude, they're like 4 years apart.
Yeah, he's like, come on, bro. And if you remember in the Two Corey's movie, we see this scene when they're hanging out on the beach, tossing the football around.
Oh, yeah.
the brother I always wanted. He's my age. We're both actors. We're both Jewish.
Hey, I want to fuck
we're
your
both
dad.
The same height.
We're both Jewish.
We're both named Corey. So dads are in the
One
other
of
room.
us is good looking.
We're in the bedroom. We're having this conversation. He starts talking to me about sexual stuff. He starts getting changed out of his bathing suit, and he starts like masturbating himself. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Let's mess around, man." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Let's mess around." I said, "With who?" He's like, "You and me." And I'm like, "Dude, I'm not gay." And he's like, "I'm not gay either." And I'm like,
all right,
well,
then we
you must
fucked.
be if you want to.
Wait, what's the agenda of this film?
to
if he's just gonna
destroy
fucking
him.
drag his friend,
I think what they're
because this isn't
trying-
a like even if you're like I don't think he's saying like being gay is bad, but the way
Yeah.
he's framing this story is like, yeah, my fucking friend was a weirdo and a creep.
I think what they're doing very badly because they're setting it up in a bizarre way instead of doing this later. I think what they're trying to say is that because Corey Haim was molested when he was younger, that's why he thought this stuff was normal later.
Oh, they're doing
bring
a
up-
bad, yeah,
I
they're
know,
doing a
they're doing-
bad
but they're
job of
doing-
that.
They just start with him being a pervert.
I only know this because I've seen this twice. so now I'm like putting it together. But yeah, the way the movie plays it, you don't pick that up at all. You're like, all right, what? What are they doing?
He's telling the story like he's talking shit.
With me because I'm a dude. And he's like, "No, it's normal." And I'm like, "What do you mean it's normal?" And he says, "Hey man, this is what all boys do. It's called the boys club and we all do this." And I said, "Who told you that?" And that's what he told me. John had come into my life.
It's this guy John Grissom that they mention.
The novelist?
No, not
What?
Grisham.
Oh.
Grissom.
Towards the end of Lost Boys, the very, very end. My
I
father
taught
said,
him about
"Look,
the
I
boys
want,
club."
John to be your caretaker. He's going to be the guy that hangs out with you." And right away, when John heard this, he like pops up and he's like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing? I'm going to be your best friend. We're going to do this together."
He starts blowing me.
I'm here to take care of you. I'm here to do your business.
kinda how
I'll
it
drive you
goes.
around wherever you need to go. I'm getting paid for it. Where do you want to go? Disneyland? I mean, that was the first
Boys
thing
Club?
he suggested to me. And I was like,
Club
"Hell yeah, I
31,
wanna go
where
to
we fuck?"
Disneyland. Let's go. He was really funny and he had a great personality and he just seemed like one
Big
of the
fat
guys.
cock.
And so one day he goes, "Look at this.
Different
See
TV.
that?
Yeah, this is the old timey TV for the older footage.
It's got sepia tone,
Yeah.
and it's
Jesus, dude.
That suitcase right there?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "What do you think's in it?" Boom. There was this bag of sorted pills. And there's like
John Grissom looks like Roddy Piper in this.
Yeah, he
footage.
does.
50 to 100 pills in there, and they're all sorts of different shapes and sizes and colors. And he's like, dude, those are Quaaludes. Those are 747s, lemons. They're like the bomb, man. That's what everybody wants. They don't even make them anymore. And I was like, great. What does that mean? You know, he's like, we got to try them. Well, Quaaludes did me in. And he can see that I'm pretty out of it. So at a certain point,
but I fought him off, and I was like, "No, I'm straight.
Sure.
I'm cool. I don't have sex." Then he fucked Corey.
There is a part where that happens where he does fight him off.
Of course, he fought him off.
A little awkward, but I won't say anything. And he's like, "Is this okay?" And I said, "Sure, I guess." And then before I knew it, he was moving that hand up my leg into my groin area. And I was like, oh, this is how this happens. And the only thought that went through my mind was, this is what Corey did. Maybe he's right. Maybe this is what all the boys do.
A lot of that story is real, and then other stuff isn't.
And if it is real, he doesn't go into all the detail about his own story as he did about Corey's stories. Like, telling all sorts of weird details about that, but then it's a cut off after the leg.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Pay attention to how when he gets to Corey Haim's story later, he gets into very much detail. But yeah, here it's like, oh, he ran his hand up my leg, and then, you know, I guess something happened. Whatever happened.
He leaves it to your imagination for him, but with Corey, he gets the graphic.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Rape him.
Here's the subtext, because yes, now we have Michael Jackson playing, and listen to the voiceover track that plays while this is going.
As I was just starting to try to process the fact that I was being abused by somebody who I thought was a friend, I was already being groomed by another.
Is that him?
Like, how does that not, like,
Wait,
you
who
totally
is he being
think...
groomed by?
Well, no, they get into some other guy, but it totally is set up like he's going to say Michael Jackson.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's fucking bizarre that it's in the movie and no one picks up on that.
That's very odd.
You know what is fucking weird and sad about this is, like, this was cool, what he's doing right here.
Yeah,
and then he
was
just
great.
never stopped doing this. He's like, this is still cool.
That's him. The man who abused you.
Yeah, because even this, they cut to Dr. Oz, and it's almost like you're waiting for the like reveal to be Michael Jackson.
Let me, as the host of this show, try to reciprocate some of your braveness by sharing the name myself.
Okay.
The man whose picture I just showed to Corey, his name is Alfie Hoffman.
Nope.
And then one night, I got really wasted. But I remember that I went and laid down in Alfie's bedroom because I was kind of passing out. And then I remember waking up to Alfie doing the same exact thing to me that John Grisham had done.
Which I won't tell you what it is because I'm not talking about Corey Haim.
Oh,
Then I picked him up and threw him out the window.
Well, this time the director does say which is what. Like, he does make him say it. He's like, what do you mean? So which is what?
He was giving me oral copulation.
One day from
He put my dick in his mouth and I came.
I sucked his dick so hard my neck fell off.
Well, no, I mean, he didn't even have to suck
That's
dick.
me, the man who sucked a dick.
Yeah.
It was Corey's dick. I sucked both their dicks.
Yeah, because Corey doesn't even get fucked or have to suck a dick. He's just getting his dick sucked by dudes like left and right, like constantly getting his dick sucked.
I'm sorry, if you get blown by any age, you're not raped. Put my foot down.
By any gender.
Corona.
What if your dad blows you and you're 3?
If your dad blows you and you're 3, you're just coming up, you're flexing.
Yeah, it means you're just Jewish and you're getting a schwitz or what? Not a schwitz. What do they call it?
Oh, a schwitz.
Yeah,
you're getting a
because isn't that the thing where the rabbis they give you the circumcision and then they put their mouths on your dinky to get the blood out?
Oh yeah, the
the schwitz.
Yeah, the schwitz.
What is happening?
He's got the fucking vibe. Dude, go wash your hands.
Yeah.
Oh, a bris. Thank you, Senpai.
Okay.
This is a guy that knew him as well, that hears the story from
Okay.
his point of view, I think,
'Cause
about what happened with Corey.
Because he looks like someone who'd blow a kid.
Yeah, but no, he's on the side of against pedos.
Oh, weird.
no reason whatsoever, he says to me, you know what, maybe one time there was a situation, he goes, I had a party at my house. I don't know who was there. He goes, I had all kinds of people there. He goes, I was tired. I just wanted to go to bed. And he goes, I went into my room and I went to lay down and I laid down and there was somebody underneath me. I lay down. I said, holy shit, and jumped out of bed. Who is that? What the hell is this? And he says, I chased them the hell out of my room and I went to bed.
No, he didn't.
And he goes, so if he's talking about that, Yeah, I sat down on top of a bed because I didn't know no one was in my room. It was dark.
That sounds like such a lie a pedophile would say, too.
Oh, yeah.
Look, it was dark. I went to my room.
Like, because here's the thing. Let's pretend that is a real story. You're never going to think like, well, is that what he's talking about?
Yeah.
Is he talking about that?
Sweet man.
Like, could he have meant maybe
he
the
did
time where...
he did it one of those things where someone's like, hey, man, Corey Feldman said that you were, like, blowing him while he was
What?
sleeping. It's like, why would he say that? Wait, actually, you know what? There was this one time when it was dark.
And I fell on... so let's pretend the story is true. No, he's never going to, get those two things confused.
I remember just kind of like getting dressed real fast and just being like, yeah, that's really uncomfortable. Like I didn't say anything. I didn't talk about it. I was just kind of like, I gotta go. I gotta get home. So fast forward, now I'm 17. And John says, try a Quaalude. I found some Quaaludes. Let's do a Quaalude together. And we had some girls over. So we all decided to do some Quaaludes. Well, the girls left. And then
Because we were sucking
I
each
remember I
other's
couldn't
dicks.
even stand up, so I crawled myself into my bedroom, and I crawled myself up to my bed, and I passed out. And he crawled himself next to me, and he passed out. And I figured we were asleep for the night. And all of a sudden, I wake up to him unbuttoning my pants. And I freaking jumped up, and I was like, you mom. I mean, I went off.
Fool me once, shame on me.
Knocked him
on
out
you.
with one punch.
Fool me twice, shame on me.
He was like, Corey, you're so strong.
And I love how this guy had this selfie, apparently.
420!
Oh, hell yeah.
Smoke weed every day.
Thanks, Joe.
What
Appreciate
a great,
that.
what a great picture.
Yeah, I think this guy had it on like his MySpace or some shit.
It's just what gay people do, right? Though they like fuck little kids.
Well, I mean,
thing. Every 15-year-old that's had a gay experience with a 50-year-old man.
I mean, we talked about it in the Twitch chat, and I did say "Call Me by Your Haim" because it is kind of like that story. It is like, in some cases, it's pitched as this like romantic thing where a grown man comes in and teaches you about sexuality. So it's like I never know what I'm supposed to think here.
And he just grabbed his like pants and threw them around, grabbed his shoes and just like went running out the front door, running down the street. And I went running after him as far as I could until I couldn't see him anymore.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Well, then
you wake up from a Quaalude deluge and you fucking fight someone off and then chase them.
And this is what he told him.
If you ever come back here again, I'll kill you.
No, but hold on.
Yeah, he didn't say that.
None of this is adding up. He's doing the math.
Yeah. Let me see. This doesn't really work. So yeah, this is where they get in the bulletin board about like who the bad people are and
Haim, number one. Bad guy.
Okay, so it's a molester, but we're not. Haim was
Is he a
more
UPS
than likely this is
driver?
a consensual thing with
It was
Dominic.
consensual, but he was still a child.
Right.
Okay, so they do talk about how one of these was consensual.
Wait, why are him and the director he almost worked with 10 years earlier doing this?
Because they're trying to tell Haim's story. He made a promise to him that if anything happened to him, I'll tell your story.
Dominic is like 35.
Right. One of those parties at that house, at Alfie and Bobby's house, is where I met Dominic Brasha for the first time.
Yeah, this fat, ugly loser guy.
Oh, he's definitely a pedophile too, right?
Him and Haim would hook up all the time, apparently.
Yeah, that seems like Haim's type.
And I guess he's in a bunch of their movies. But also he was Corey Feldman's roommate for years, apparently.
No gay stuff though.
And the reason why, so this was a little later, this was probably now, when I was 13, but I remember meeting Dominic, and at that point was when I told him my next movie was going to be Lost Boys, and I told him that Corey Haim was going to be in it. And that's when he said, ooh, Corey Haim, I've got a big crush on him, or, I think he's just so cute.
Marty
Who, me?
Weiss?
Corey?
Marty Weiss.
No, the other Corey.
I got fired from Lost Boys.
What
Yeah,
other Corey?
You mean, what? Some other Corey? Two Corys. And this is where they get more into Corey Haim being a sex fiend. They start to bury Corey Haim even more with some of these stories.
And the agreement was that I had to have a responsible person come down to be the set sitter. And so it was like, who do we call?
The what?
Marty, of course.
I guess someone has to keep an eye on him while he's on set. He's like a babysitter on set, but not.
Oh, a set sitter.
Yeah, set sitter. Because they get into like basically shitting all over Judy Haim, who is Corey Haim's mother. They briefly every now and then mention Corey Feldman's father, but they don't get into like. He kind of insinuates that Corey Feldman's dad was a piece of shit, but he doesn't really give it to him the same that he does to Judy Haim.
Imagine having your sex offender picture look like you're the biggest sex offender.
Yeah.
You're smirking, raising an eyebrow.
Well, he has one of those Corey hairs that goes way down.
I love this footage they use because it looks like Feldman's all fucked up on Quaaludes here for some reason.
He
I don't
found
know
those
why
lemon boys.
I don't know why.
Is that I
why
had
they
to have a
decided to use it.
responsible person come down to be the set sitter. And so it was like, who do we call? Marty, of course.
When we did Lost Boys, and then Marty walks in the door, and the second Marty walks in the door, he goes, "Hey, I'm horny. Could you blow me?" Because I told him that Marty was gay.
The second Marty walks in the door, Haim goes, "Hey, I'm horny. Could you blow me?"
Because I know. Hey, I know you're gay. Will you blow me?
Hey. And Marty takes him in the room and does it. And then we get back to
He looks
LA,
like Doja Cat
and
right
then he
now, all
says, "Hey,
fucked
do you
up."
have any friends? You know, blah blah
Oh
blah."
shit! Did we leave the audio equipment inside the boiling water? God damn it! Whatever, use it.
Well, yeah, and then this is where he's getting into. So then after he gets blown, when they get to LA, he's like, "Do you have any other gay friends? Because I need to get blown again." Like, because he's a sex fiend.
Later, when I get laid, and that's when I said, "Well, I don't know any girls. I'm sorry." And he said, "Well, forget girls. Do you know any guys?"
I only like
And I said,
guys.
"Well, I
Me, Corey
remembered
Haim.
that time when Dominic told me that he thought he was cute." So I said, "Well, I know a guy that thinks you're cute." And he's like, "I don't care. Just call him up. Get him over here."
Yeah, I know a guy that thinks you're cute. He looks like the Michelin Man.
Get him over here. I mean, Corey Haim needs his dick sucked, and he needs it sucked right now.
Remember
and
the-
if Feldman ain't gonna do it, to get your fat friend over.
I know the guy. He's from Big Trouble in Little China, and he turns into a big balloon.
You know, he shared with me that on the set of Lucas, that he was.
Oh, here's where we get into the Charlie Sheen reveal.
The set of what?
Lucas.
What's that?
Movie from like 85 or something like that.
Raped as a little boy. And I remember thinking, like, oh, wow.
Gay.
You know, raped as a little boy. And he told me that, you know, it was his co-star. And he told me that it was Charlie Sheen that did it.
So I heard that Charlie Sheen had.
And what I was talking about in the chat when we were watching this, because I feel like sometimes they know to lead with like not Corey Feldman, because they go to his wife and she looks more normal, and even this guy looks normal.
Yeah.
Because
it's believable. when
within
he's
this
there.
movie, there's actually like obviously an important message, and there's some stuff going on that should get out there. But then it gets undermined every time we cut to Corey Feldman because he's fake acting, or he's fucked up on drugs, or he has this weird personal vendetta he's trying to do. So it undermines it at every moment, where if he just made this and maybe had a quick part where he talks about his relationship with Corey Haim and, you know, what
Yeah,
he
they
told
should-
him,
they
and
should
then
tease him and like put him at the very end.
yeah, and not even be that long. But the fact that they keep bringing him in, it just ruins the whole thing.
Had I heard it in the context of rape? No, I hadn't heard it in context of rape. I had heard it in that he had said to Haim, "This is what men do."
Shit, I've personally heard a story about Charlie and Corey Haim. Probably,
Who is this?
I don't know. at
It's
least
just
a dozen
another
people.
like there are all these. I think he's like their age.
Put his name. Just something.
To be fair, they might have had him up earlier, and
Oh,
I just
yeah, I
cut some of those
forgot.
clips
Okay.
out.
Well, probably in my inner circle knew
It's
for
Kiefer
sure.
Sutherland's brother.
Look,
He
yeah.
said Charlie Sheen raped him.
See, perfect example of like people are talking about it. And it's like, oh shit, this really happened.
And you just don't believe, dude. It's the fakest
Well,
shit.
The guy
It's so
before him
fake.
even said, like, had I heard it as rape? No. I heard it from Corey that he had
Yeah.
sex with Charlie Sheen.
I mean, but even still, like, you could still make an argument that if he was only like 12 or something.
Sure.
But yeah, then Corey shows up and just undermines
Yeah.
everything by being a fucking phony.
Yeah, for a second, you're like, oh, wow, this is like dropping real shit right now. And then it cuts to him overacting and trying to be melodramatic about it.
In my inner circle knew for sure.
He said Charlie Sheen raped him. That's what he told me.
They
Why
show
is
him
he-
walk away like Kermit.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to act, so he's whispering. He's doing this weird whisper voice.
He's getting that tear going.
This wasn't like a one-time thing he said in passing. It wasn't like, oh, by the way, this happened. He went into great detail. He told me, Charlie.
Wait, how do they have clips about the Charlie
bend me
Sheen thing
over.
in the movie
Well,
that
'cause
supposedly revealed it?
This news came out from the Inquirer a couple of years ago.
Then why didn't he have a? Why is he acting like this movie is revealing anything then?
Because
if he's
full of
revealing a name
shit.
that's already been revealed.
I mean, I guess to be fair, it wasn't. It was like an Inquirer thing. No one knew what, and he's weirdly confirming it. But he totally could have came out and confirmed it.
Yeah.
Like, to your point, he didn't have to make this movie. Like he was. You know, we've watched all the times he's been hyping up this movie, and like his legit fans, like the people unironically that follow him, they were bracing themselves for like Steven Spielberg's name to be brought up. They were like, "Oh my God, Steven Spielberg!" Like Steven Spielberg's trying to kill Corey. This guy's worth billions, and even they're like, "Well, we kind of knew that," which I know it's like a weird reaction.
But the way he had framed it was as
Yeah.
if he was going to tell you something you had never heard before. When now all he's doing is confirming something that you had totally
And-
heard before.
And the timing's even more weird because the Inquirer brought it up, and then Charlie Sheen was suing them. He brought up like a suit against them for slander or something like that. And then that was just recently brought up that it was being settled out of court. So it was almost like the timing, he was waiting for that. So maybe that means he can't get sued, or who the fuck knows? It's like some bizarre chain of events, but this is his big money shot reveal here.
In between
good
two
phrasing.
trailers
Look
and
at
put
him.
Crisco oil on my butt.
He looks like a fucking
and
geisha.
raped me.
He's got so much fucking
In
makeup
broad
on.
daylight, anybody could have walked by, anybody could have seen it.
So Corey Haim and I got into an argument one day.
And this is not my cut. I love that it cuts to this guy after. Hey, so anyways.
I've been stoned since I was born.
It's in the
me,
serious.
Jake Perry.
It cuts from Feldman talking about how he doused my butt in Crisco oil,
And then
and
Jake
raped
Perry
me.
shows
And
up.
Jake Perry's like, yeah. So Corey Haim was saying he got fucked.
That is chill, man. It's cool. What are you doing?
Like again, no self-awareness into this movie. Oh, look at this cut. Look at this screen.
Hell yeah.
Oh, there's a thumbnail for the episode.
Charlie bent me over in between two trailers and put Crisco oil on my butt and raped me. In broad daylight, anybody could have walked by, anybody could have seen it.
So Corey Haim and I got into an argument one day because he called me up on the phone and he started yelling at me because he thought I was, talking smack on set about him. And since he knew I was a big fan, he was
Also,
like, "You'll
look
never
at
be-"
when he was his assistant. Like, Corey Haim was 35.
Well, yeah, but listen to his like
drug dealer, a.k.a. assistant.
Listen to his like reasoning here.
It too, Corey. You want to be like me? You want to dress like me? I'll bend you over and ream you. Then you'll see how it feels. And I was like, whoa, that was weird. Why do you say that?
So what do you think of
What? That's just Corey being an asshole.
But he's saying like they're using it in like, oh, you want to be Corey Haim? Well, I'll bend you over and fuck you, and now you'll know. And now we have Judy Feldman, and because she says the Sheen stuff is bullshit, but she does say that her son was raped by Dominic.
about these allegations that he was raped when he was age 13?
I would have known if anything was wrong. My kid hid nothing. He was like transparent. He never hid anything. He was Corey. It's out of character. That's number one. When my son was 13, he's not going to go and ask Charlie Sheen to go and sleep with him. I have to tell you that this guy Dominic is the guy that abused my son. You know how I know that? Because my set said so.
Just watching his interaction with Corey Feldman, that
Mhm.
Corey Haim, your son, was deeply angry about being abused by someone who was brought into his life by
Mhm.
Corey Feldman.
Exactly.
And who's going to be there except for your best friend?
You're bringing up real
what are you doing?
real deep things.
What are you doing?
So I'm going to do
You
the
want me to
same
get
exact
deep?
thing, dude.
You want me to get deep?
Dude, get as
Do
deep
you
as
really
you
want me to?
man. Sure. Corey, I'm sitting
And
right
I don't need to
Go
do
ahead.
that. I don't have to do that.
Corey, I'd love to see you even attempt to do something like that.
Are you kidding me?
Do I look like I'm kidding you right
You're
now?
an easy target, bro.
I'm right here.
Let's do this. I'm right here. Hit me with the hardest you got. Now, why?
This is where we see that Corey Haim really did not like Corey Feldman.
They despised that man. And they hated each other.
And I can't tell. I think Feldman thinks this footage is proving that he means Charlie Sheen here, because he brings up like getting like raped by your friend, but he's talking about Dominic because like Corey Feldman is still friends with that guy Dominic even after like.
Well, they even brought it up in the context of that.
Well, but then what's great is then after this clip, Feldman has to tell stories on why it was okay he was friends with him, because basically Haim was the one that was always like, hey, get Dominic over here so he could blow me. He was always saying, like, bring him over.
What I want
Dominic fund
to
this
try
movie?
and hurt you. Corey, you're opening up to the world about me having a knife in my pocket. And the reason I wear this, man, is like to cover up some scars I have, because like I used to cut into myself because it's a way to feel. I hear.
Well, and I love what he's saying here, because this even proves it. Like even when he was
back in the
alive,
day, yeah.
even when Corey Haim was alive, he's like, dude, you're always talking about my shit.
Yeah.
You're talking about how I cut myself, and like he's still doing the same stuff even after in death, where he's like, Corey Haim, he was raped, he was gay,
Yeah.
he was this, he was a druggie.
To put it in terms for the kids, he was pocket watching.
Yeah. Oh,
Why
nice.
is he pocket watching Corey Haim right now?
Well, but and also
Go and get your own bag, Corey Feldman. If I could put it in terms for the kids, who I will blow if they pull up, put it on my tombstone. Who wants to get blown? It's cool if you're gay. Gay people blow kids.
And also, like, well, in relation to like with that hindsight, the way he tries to pitch, like later, he starts to get into how Judy Haim's a villain, and it's like, of course she is to Corey Feldman. She fucking hates Corey Feldman,
Yeah.
as she should, because all Corey Feldman does is talk about her son who's
Talk
been
shit
dead
about
Yeah.
her son, but lie and say they're best friends.
She said, "Go
I'm,
get
like,
your own
mentioning
bag."
that. You just
It's like,
fucking
no,
ripped
your
the
bag is
envelope,
my
man.
bag. We have the
I'll go
same
you one
name.
better. You let me get around in my life, man. Raped, so to speak. When I was
What
about
an intro
14
to
and a
this
half,
new
and I-
metal song, by the way, when it finally comes in. Ooh, whoa. Don't know.
I'm saying this right now by the guy you still hang out with, and tell me I'm 14. Take responsibility. You know exactly what I'm talking
For
about.
the chat, they both look like Tim and Eric characters.
Dude, look at it. You know that dude, Corey's an idiot. All he did was show us a clip that's like, hey, watch someone be real and watch you phone like he's like, yeah, I'm acting right now. I'm in a scene, I'm acting, and then he says that shit, and then Corey's like, what?
Yeah, it's nothing.
No. Like, he fucking immediately like doesn't know how to react.
He's the bad improv from like that coronavirus video.
Yeah.
And I love this version of Corey as well.
Yeah,
Pink
where's
shirt
his long
Corey.
hair?
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe spoilers. Maybe this is after some other stuff.
People need to understand that it was such a complex relationship between the two of them, because Dominic became his friend. Corey would go through these waves where, like, 1 minute he hated Dominic and he thought he was a disgusting pig. And he would say that. He'd be like, you're a disgusting pig. You're some 35-year-old balding fat man. And why the fuck am I sitting here with you? I hate you. And
You
I'd be
heard
like,
him say that
I
to
heard him say it. And then I'd come over a week later and they'd be best buds going to a movie together or like going to a club or whatever. And I'm like, I don't get it, dude. Do you hate him or do you not hate him? What's the deal? You know?
But then
this whole thing has a narrative of a smear piece.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
He
I
built
agree.
this up like it was supposed to be like, I'm going to let everyone know what happened to my poor
My best
pal.
friend.
But the whole thing is basically like,
sex
it really
fiend.
does feel like a giant smear piece where it's like, hey, you know, like you'd think that Corey thought that Haim was always talking shit about him, and now that he's dead, he can say his truth. But like that's the way that all of this footage reads.
Well, and there's so much time spent where a topic comes up, and then they have to go to Corey Feldman where he has to explain, because a topic comes up and it makes him look bad, and then he has this long story on why, no, it's not like that. It's actually, I'm the hero.
Dominic and Corey in
in
your
two
movie.
movies.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did National Lampoon's Last Resort together, and Corey thought it was a great idea to give Dominic a cameo in it. So we put him in the movie. That was our decision mutually to help him out and give him the spot. And then, of course, as soon as he's on the set, Corey's like, why is he here, man? I don't want him here. Like, well, you told
It's
him
almost
to
like he
hire
has a
him.
lot of
What do you wanna
conflicted
do?
feelings about the man
And he's
who
like,
raped
no,
him.
man, that was your idea. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. It was your idea. You felt bad for him and you wanted to help him out. You told me let's hire him. So that kind of stuff happened a lot. By the time we get to Busted,
Now I was loving the clips of Busted. I feel like we need to do a commentary on this.
What is
I guess it's
Busted?
just the two Coreys being cops.
and I had
Police
told
Academy
Corey, of
with
course,
Corey?
this is the cast. He knew.
I don't
who
know,
was in
like,
the
look
cast.
at
They both
Dominic
look
was
kind
my
of all
roommate
right
at the time.
here.
And that's when
I
I
was
was
seeing a
dating
pretty
Carrie
terrible
Kasem.
movie. I was seeing a low budget
And
movie.
so Carrie knew that we were all friends. She didn't know what was going on. She didn't know the backstory. So if you ask Carrie, she's going to
The
say,
chat brings up a
I
good
thought
point
everybody
that he
loved
looks
each
just
other.
like
I thought
Charlie
everybody
Sheen.
was
He
fine."
does. Yeah, he totally
I had
does.
the assumption that Judy was a friend for life because I was a friend with her child
Yeah,
for
this
life.
is where he gets into how Judy's a villain. Like Corey Haim's mom is a villain.
And I assumed that when he was gone, that
What
our
did you say?
Who was that guy on the right?
That was Corey Haim.
Really?
Yeah.
closeness would never change. So when all of a sudden you see her doing these things and you see her lashing out and saying these awful things, you go, God, why would you do that? That hurts. That's not fair.
That's what you're doing right now. This whole movie is
Taking
you
it
doing
yourself,
that.
That's not fair. So that gives you a little anger, but the real anger comes from when you see that there's an entire conspiracy that's been formed.
The real
of
anger
at
comes
least
from
30
someone else
people
being named Corey.
who are working in conjunction with one another. I believe all.
Wow,
under
what a
the
horrible
guidance
picture.
of her.
Jesus.
When I found out that she was at the top
We
of
should
the
take a
tree,
picture laying on his grave.
Yeah, not
Fuck.
great.
What the fuck? I mean, yeah, both of them are fucking horrible
for
trauma
all of
survivors,
these
I guess.
The Goonies star says that he was attacked last night. He's talking about this alleged attack on social media. Now, according to the LAPD, they were made aware of an assault with a deadly weapon at 10:45 last night. Feldman also tweeted that he has been threatened recently on social media.
You know what happens when
He
you get
also referred
stabbed?
to
You don't have to
something he
point
called
out
a
where you
wolf
got
pack.
stabbed.
So I am trying to write a concise.
What is this?
Oh, yeah, there's a typo in the first 4 words.
He's sending him a zip file.
Thank you for taking the comma E.
I have attached. Yeah, attached
Is typoed.
A file for your convenience, so you can. Some of the have been made, and to help paint the picture who these people are and their motives.
Just fix your typos really quick before you
Yeah.
film it. What are you doing?
They call themselves the Wolf Pack. They're led by a name named Bobby Wolf. I've never met Bobby, though he runs it.
This letter to Detective Hickman, who is the detective who investigated my stabbing. Basically, what's going on is the Wolf Pack or whatever, these people have come from the other side of the country. And basically, they've come to town to ambush me, harass me, stalk me, and who knows, possibly harm me or my family. So I would like to get a protective order. So I went to the police station. We asked them if they would give us a protective order. They said that they could not because
They
they
said
felt
no.
that this may be directly connected to the stabbing case.
Well, so you can
barely
only,
tall
they
enough
said,
to reach over
reach out
the
to the
desk.
original
we
detective.
can only
So I
give you
reached out to
protective orders
Detective
against
Hickman,
real
and
things.
She said she cannot verify at this time that they're connected, but she will give this to secret investigations or something like that. Anyway, it's a special crimes unit. Special
Everyone
crimes can
towers
actually
over
set up
Corey.
a task
What is his
force
height?
to deal with celebrities who are getting stalked, celebrities who have these types of problems. So they actually have something in LA that's set up specifically for situations like this. So I've got to now
Celebrities
put
such as
all this into a
myself.
letter so she understands the history, which is going to be not easy.
All right, so here's the
Imagine
thing.
getting
So
that email and then just deleting it, not reading it at all.
my whole
Pretending
thing
you
is,
never got it.
It took me a couple of days to figure out and follow what you've been telling me in
here's
terms
the
of
wolf
all the
pack.
people, all the different players. So I just want to make sure for everybody that I think it's best visually to just show.
Well, to try and maybe find all the roots of everybody, like a family tree.
Okay. So you said start with Feldfam first.
Feldfam on that side.
Okay, explain one sentence. Who's Feldfam?
The followers and fans that follow me on Twitter mostly. It shoots off to Facebook and Instagram, but it's the root family
Jim
of
and
social
them.
media, and we call them family because a lot of them have been there for 10 years.
Listen to how
and they
old and
dedicate their
stupid he is.
life
You should just be like,
literally
oh, they're my
to,
fans.
You know,
Yeah, no,
finding out
fans
what's
of mine.
going on with everything.
When Corey was just touring and we were talking on Twitter, it was always fun
Here's
and
Gina
lighthearted,
from
and
the
I don't
Feld
even
fam.
remember
Ugh.
any like bad people coming into that. It was when he did his first campaign, when he stopped touring and decided to try to help the children. That's when they came out, and it was like a swarm. I have this tweet on my phone of what Corey said, and what basically caused the dam to burst.
His crazy wife.
Is this tweet that he said that said, I'm hatching up a plan to come forward and, expose these predators.
She has to get
that
the
are
gist.
pedophiles
Wait a minute.
in
Go back to
Hollywood.
his tweet.
Yeah.
She's got to get the gist of it, because what does his tweet say?
Hold on.
Dam to burst is this tweet that he said that said, I'm...
That said, I am working on a plan that may be a way forward to shed some light on this situation. If I can figure out a way to get actual justice.
All those twos are the number 2.
Yeah. While not risking my safety and well-being, you will know when that time comes. As for now, I'm glad people are talking, and I pray that others come.
hatching up a plan to come forward and, expose these predators that are pedophiles in Hollywood.
Even in the fake tweet thing,
And
it
after
says like
that happened,
700
it was
people
all
are talking
bets were
about
off.
this.
And the floodgates open and the dam burst, and all these Twitter messages and just everything came flooding in.
It was like, as soon as I finally said,
Look at
okay, I'm going to say something.
He's like, wait a
the
minute,
next
I was
few
never
days
raped.
were insane. I almost got run over by 2 trucks, and I was literally saved somehow miraculously within
I'm surprised
inches
we didn't
of my
make it
life.
into this doc.
I don't know how.
The
I was
haters.
We're
It was
definitely
a
part of
true
the
miracle.
wolf pack.
But all I can say is that God
We
saved
didn't even
me
know
for
it.
Yeah,
a
we
reason.
don't even mean to be.
Then the next day, a couple of my band members were arrested, and the press lied and said that I was arrested. And then the third day, I got a call from the Inquirer that they were going to print the Sheen story, which led me to remember every moment of my life, like everything flashed before me. And I suddenly realized I don't need to be on this tour. I need to
Well,
be
I
making
like
money.
how just in passing, he just kind of destroyed his credibility because he just made it seem like. Then the Inquirer called and told me about the Sheen story, and then I suddenly remembered it. Like it's almost like like you were talking about, Mike, what you were getting at. It's like he didn't have a name, and then this thing happened. He's like, "Oh yeah, Corey did tell me about that. I remember now."
Yeah,
you still know how to repress memories work, Jim.
Keep my promise to Corey, and I need to get
Oh,
my
yeah, the
truth
promise,
out there,
remember?
no matter what.
I was terrified because guess what? People want to kill him.
I'm Corey Feldman's wife.
Because
It's
they don't want
horrifying. It's so
what
scary.
He has to say to come out.
Here we go, Wolfpack.
Wolfpack. Clever. So I know this.
Clever.
Start with
No. His
Bobby
name's
Wolf, because I know that's the guy.
No, we start with Judy Haim. Bobby Wolf, obviously.
Okay,
Leader
so
of the
that's this
Wolfpack.
guy,
Yeah,
and
Judy Haim,
he's
leader of the
Some
Wolfpack.
fan. I don't know. I don't know how you spell
Number
it.
2,
He's just
some
a fan
guy.
of what?
I have no idea.
You've never met him or
Never
spoken to
met him, never spoken to him. It's somebody that started working with Judy.
The Wolfpack is doing things on social media like Twitter messages.
Yeah, it's so great. Bobby Wolf is coming to town.
He really just typed some shit into a meme generator.
Facebook messages that are
Get you magnet door opener ready and hold your syringes high.
threatening you,
What?
disparaging you, defaming you, accusing you of bad things.
And going after my fans and attacking them and basically telling them that they don't want to participate, they don't want to support me, it's all a sham. And when they don't listen and they keep defending me, then they start attacking them personally.
You're saying is Judy's part of the Wolfpack.
I think Judy is the queen of the Wolfpack.
Okay, and how does she
She's
know
always
that?
like, leave my dead son alone. Stop bringing up my dead son.
It's amazing how this whole documentary, but especially this scene here, plays out like a sketch or like a Christopher Guest movie because it feels like they're just improvising and trying to be ridiculous because he's like, so Bobby Wolf's the head of the Wolfpack. No, Judy Haim. All right, so Judy Haim's the top of the Wolfpack. Well, she's the queen of the Wolfpack, and it's like he's being the wacky character, but he's just being himself.
Well, it's also weird that he can stand there and also sit on that little chair in the corner at the same time.
Damn it! I was gonna bring up the terrifying statue.
Well, it's great because now, like for backup, he's gonna go to his wife, like the Wolfpack.
Oh yeah, the Wolfpack.
You think he just like goes over and stands over that statue like, yeah, I'm tall.
He's definitely working with the Wolfpack to discredit and defame Corey for sure.
I made videos.
See, my
for Judy
stupid thought
Haim
confirmed.
For 6 to 8 months, trying to discredit Corey Feldman because
Here's some druggie that says she was a former member of the
What am
Wolfpack.
I? I'm Wolfpack.
Yeah,
She has like
Wolfpack.
a needle sticking out of her arm. Yeah.
Hey, if we give you $50, will you say you're from the wolf pack?
I am from the wolf pack.
You
Why?
keep your $50. Give me 20 goofballs.
Yeah. I have no use for money. You got goofballs?
Oh, we got goofballs off the wazoo.
That's
I'm made
what
of
she wanted.
goofballs.
All of Corey Feldman's disappointments and what a fool he is, but it went a lot deeper than that, and it got really vicious and really mean.
Yeah, we've got screenshots of all of these group convos with Judy and Bobby Wolf.
Judy would be in a chat room on Facebook with the
wolf
people
pack.
that were making these videos were tweeting
Facebook
out
chat room.
horrible things. And
this
she
Joe's
was in
phone?
the chat room
What
with
is
these
this?
people, telling them to call social services and have Corey's son taken away.
CF is an idiot. I hope Charlie will find out and go after him. Trying to stay strong. I'll send
I
you some
also
stuff.
have one that says we need to re-brainwash people about Corey Feldman.
And she's saying this to
me.
Everyone's owning them too. Wouldn't numbnuts be that dumb? If yeah.
Yeah, seeing her part of these conversations, encouraging
like a snack.
things like this was really upsetting.
Well, I've had an opportunity to look at some of the emails and text messages from Corey's mom. She's upset that Corey Feldman identified Corey Haim as a victim of child abuse, and it's really sad reading her stuff because she
Like some of the stuff she's saying is completely reasonable, though.
Here you are lying again, as you always do, pointing fingers at my Corey.
yeah. Just stop talking about my. She's basically just saying, stop talking about my fucking son. Tell your own fucking truth. Well, this is my truth. The rape of 2 Coreys.
It's like how I was raped. Yeah, when you were raped at that guy, I was never raped. I fought him off. I chased him down the street, and I said, if you ever try to rape me, I'll kill you.
He thought he was so cool because he was horny and he wanted to get off. That's the truth.
Corey's response: I hate that you always assume I'm out to get Corey or make him look bad or make myself look good. I'm not. I never have. I'm doing my best to tell the truth as it happened and putting it the softest way possible. He did ask to meet Dominic, but not because he thought he was cool, because he was horny and wanted to get off. That's the truth.
Imagine talking to someone's mom, like, I'm dead. You're like, listen.
Listen, Jeff's mom.
Jeff was horny, okay?
She's obviously a mother that's deeply in pain and trying to protect him.
Well, I love it. The beginning, I was just reading the beginning in the background, and he's like, Judy, I'm sorry, you're wrong. I'm going to say this softly because I'm ashamed to say the actual words. But then this part they highlight is like, he's just horny. He wants to get off.
Preserve the memory of her son. In reading her stuff, I could
Love
feel
Corey.
her pain and her desperation. And I think the way that she's coping with it is slandering my client, defaming my client.
This is the My
libeling
Corona
my
guy?
client,
Yeah.
organizing other people to go after my client. Somehow she's finding some solace and peace of mind.
Isn't it great? Because, Mike, like, as you've seen going through this, that he's been shitting on Corey Haim, like, the whole time. And now they're spending a good amount shitting on his mom, too.
Yeah.
Like, you're also his mom's
This
a
is
fucking
not-
piece of shit.
This documentary is not, hey, here are the people that raped me and my good friend Corey. This documentary is, hey, this that Corey guy that I was always friends with, he is a piece of shit and he hated me. And his family is trash. And also, by the way, he was gay and got raped.
But remember when he was like, your hair, man, fucking sick.
Dude, the one thing you've done that's great.
You're fucking
and
so
this
strong.
activity.
Judy and I had exchanged many emails. My perception is that she knew exactly what was going on because it was dated July 25th,
Yeah, you
2013.
explained what was going on.
And it said, you know as well as I do that the media will want to know who that was, especially because you mentioned the fact that the guy on Lucas is well known and makes a lot of money. They'll know it was
Can't be
Charlie.
Charlie Sheen.
I can't read the whole email in one piece, so I can't tell you everything that was said.
You know what's great,
but
too,
It
is,
goes on to say,
what is
I
the
don't
Charlie
want people
Sheen
to start
camp
calling
said?
me
Nothing.
and
Yeah, it's like, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Well, and this whole thing, I didn't expect so much. I'm an idiot. I didn't expect so much current stuff. Like, I expected him to talk about the past and all the shit that happened.
Oh,
but
yeah.
so much of this is like, hey,
Talking about
fucking
the stabbing
2 months
and the
ago.
wolf
Like,
pack, yeah.
like, this is about him and the conspiracy against him, not about the old rape. Like, he he is so fucking flimsy and shitty with his agenda on everything that he can't even like keep his stupid phony documentary on fucking on topic.
Hell yeah.
Asking about this, I will have to be honest about things that I think are going to be wrong or agree to things that are right on the money. And then I have to answer questions that I may not want to answer. In another email dated April 17th, 2011, she writes, Charlie the Nutcase was in Toronto for the last 3 days. I called his manager a while ago while I knew Charlie was coming here. And I told him to have Charlie go to the cemetery and visit one of his co-stars and learn something.
And Kristen pointed out when we were watching this live, this was in 2011. It sounds more like when Charlie Sheen was being crazy, that she was like, hey, maybe he should just go visit, Corey's grave to see like what can happen. But he's making it seem like, yeah, see, she's agreeing with it.
I don't think he went. Big surprise. Judy and I had a conversation about it after Corey was dead. And we'd had conversations before that, but she pretends we didn't.
He looks like the
And at
eagle
that time,
from the Muppets.
She said, well, I only knew this 4 years ago. He only told me this part of it 4 years ago. I said, Judy, that's impossible. It's impossible.
He looks like someone
'Cause we've
deep faked
talked
him
about
into a
this stuff
9-year-old.
before. She's like, I knew something happened, I just didn't know the details. But then he finally told me. But here's the kicker.
It looks like when someone paints eyeballs on your eyelids.
Like he's sleeping.
The kicker is, you know. So why not be a fucking man about it and tell the world what you know? Why not go out there and say, you know what? Yeah, this happened.
Cry.
My kid told me he was raped by a man on a set that I brought him to. And I feel terrible about that. But you know what? I gotta pay my dues. Because that's life. You suit up, you take responsibility for your actions. It's your responsibility, Judy Haim, yours, not anybody else's.
He's yelling at himself.
So stop blaming it on me and stop blaming it on other people.
It's not my friend Dominic, okay?
People don't realize. Everybody always wants
now
to
he's
say
interviewing
Corey's gonna
Dominic.
out-
He's like, all right,
Dominic.
so anyways, Dominic, isn't it
Tell us
fucked
how
up?
Corey Haim raped you.
He was just so horny all the time.
I remember I would always tell him no, and then he would just make me blow him.
A bunch of executives with this movie. I'm not outing a bunch of executives with this movie. What I am doing is saying that it's not the executives, it's not the studio heads, and it may be, but it may not be.
It's very convenient that he's saying that because it's like, yeah, I want to get work still. It's not the people in power.
It's not the people running things.
The people that could buy this
Harvey.
documentary and release it.
But in most cases, it's the manager, the publicist, the agent. It's the little guys around the celebrity. That's the point, is that you can go back to the early days of Hollywood and there's stories about Mickey Rooney. There's stories about Judy Garland. There's stories about Coogan, know. Now, who knows what's real and what's not? Shirley Temple. We hear stories about
dropping
them all.
names.
Does that mean it's real? Or is it just myth? Is it just lore? But here's the thing that gets you. You look at cases that have been public, from Tatum O'Neal all the way through. Anthony Edwards is the next generation. Then you've got the Coreys. Then you've got this one and that one.
But then you have the Ricky Garcias. This is happening up
you
through
hear
now.
about Bella Thorne. You hear about all of these kids coming forward right now. You can help me bring these people to justice. You can be responsible for being the next one to make the shoe drop and getting these guys put away.
Here it is.
Kids too, baby.
That's his Me Too. Kids too.
Kids too, baby.
Kids too, baby.
Hashtag kids too. Hashtag baby.
Call Joe.
Yeah, I think that
at
the-
3
Yeah, call Joe at 300.
the promise you made to Haim.
It's fulfilled.
Yeah, I think
I did my job. I mean, I can't say what's going to happen.
I know,
after
but you
this.
did it. Yeah.
I didn't promise I was going to have Charlie Sheen locked up.
Look at that fucking loser.
And not only did
Look
I
at
tell
him,
his
dude.
story, but I told mine, and we were
That's his
fortunate
bodyguard
enough
with him,
to tell
too.
Ricky's and
Hey,
a
it's
few
Edward
other people's
Penis
stories
Hands
along
here
the
to
way.
fucking.
Wait, is that Dominic with him?
Cut.
This is the big moment, dude.
Is he gonna cut it off and leave it at the grave?
Yes. You watched it? I think
Spoilers.
nobody did see
You
it.
know, all of these tributes, all these nods to Corey.
This
they're
is
not
his
because,
big crescendo.
He's right
I
next
have
to
nothing else to write
Margacina.
about. They're not because I don't have any, any material or I.
Wait, didn't Corey Haim have tattoos? Could he be? Is he supposed to be buried
Oh
in a
yeah,
Jewish
he can't
cemetery?
be in no Jewish cemetery. I don't know. Did he have tattoos?
Maybe
Seems like
not.
something he would do.
I want
Filming
the
this on an
attention.
Android camera?
It's because
What's
this
his
is my
shit?
heart.
What's his message?
I loved that man. He was my partner. He was my brother.
Forearm.
Brought a stick with
He was
him.
my
What's it? I
he
keep
have a
my
stick?
promises, bud.
Now you can rest in peace.
Something back.
Something
I love you. For Corey.
best friend.
I have your back.
Oh yeah.
I brought you this stick.
2-2. Those are their favorite numbers.
This needs like a song about it.
Yeah, it totally does. It really needs a song, I think. To bring it all together, we need a song.
Stupid hair. I don't even think it's real. Like he added it in.
Here it is, the moment.
Well, look, he clearly gelled the shit out of it so it'd all be together, so it'd be easy to cut.
The devil lock. He doesn't cut all of it either.
Yeah. Yeah, don't play music under this.
Wait till a plane
We
goes
need the
by.
cicadas adding drama.
This is such fucking horse shit. Who's buying
didn't
this?
even cut it.
Well, you didn't want it to be on the even, bro.
It is. It
Yeah,
is.
Yeah, it is.
Put it in the stick.
Yeah,
Wow, what an insane lie! That
And
he's
then what did
trying
he
to
do?
like
Stab the stick into the ground?
Nah, he just places
Yeah,
it
he's
there.
hoisting up this giant lie to be the dramatic climax of his garbage fucking lie of a movie.
He really is.
The guy's
such-
like, "Get outta here! Get outta here!"
Oh, is that his wife filming it? Yeah, it is on like an Android phone. I think you
Hamster.
called
I
it.
told
like-
you, dude. It's
Yeah.
fucking shit footage.
Oh, Hamster 222. I didn't even see that.
Wow, the hamster, baby.
Dude, he really is such a fucking ghoul for doing this. And if
Yeah.
anyone is like likes this guy,
Oh,
like it's
man.
terrible. Yeah, and there we go. But now, now we need a
Whoa,
song.
whoa, whoa, whoa! Is this a part of the movie right now?
This played at the beginning of the movie.
No, no,
Technically,
but this
this
that I'm-
part was part of his. He added it to the beginning.
So he added a
The
Windows
video
Movie Maker
that somebody named Marissa
intro.
Wren made. Yeah, this is at the beginning of the movie.
Oh God!
But technically, this song plays over the end credits, but it doesn't have the full song.
So he started the movie with a Windows Movie Maker.
yes,
Fucking YouTube.
This is the beginning when you watch the stream.
I'm surprised he's not filming his laptop. This song is fucking sick, though.
Dude, I actually had this song in my head all week.
Yeah.
And honestly, I know we've probably said this a lot, or other people have said it. Like, it would be hard to make the goof version of this song,
Yeah.
as good as.
Oh wait,
the
I haven't heard it yet.
Yes,
but I agree.
It'd
You
be
heard
hard to
2 seconds of it.
It'd be hard to sit down and make a goof song like this and have it be as good as the actual
Yeah.
song.
You don't have the level of mental illness to like make mental illness videos.
Very first day.
By the way, that's not even them. That's the actors that play them in the Lifetime movie, the two Coreys.
Well, because he couldn't be asked to fucking make a montage
Yeah.
to his own song that's just photos. He's like, I'll just record,
Yeah.
screen record
Well,
YouTube.
Oh, a fan
Is
made
this
it?
voice Feldman?
Yes, yeah.
That we met.
You maybe thought it was an angel, right?
You told me right away. A secret that I never could forget. My heart just sank.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah, bum equipment, huh? Good choice.
Ah.
You
Look how
asked me
fucking
not to
ugly
tell her
Corey
so,
Feldman is.
so I
Every picture of him is always this ugly motherfucker.
that I could make it different. Trying to be a good guy.
He does have a tattoo.
Wish
I does.
told you then.
Maybe they cut it off so he could be buried with Jews.
Tell the world to feel ashamed. It's got that bad and it's not your fault.
He's got like an old saloon piano player.
You laugh the way you wanna live. You were free to be
Dude, you're right. It'd be impossible to make a song like this that wasn't a over-the-top goof.
Could you imagine?
You couldn't make a joke song that's more of a joke than this song that's serious.
There's no way. There's no fucking way you could.
You couldn't write
The
five
voice,
verses.
if nothing else, the voice that he's using is a pure goof voice.
And the change up.
No
like
goof, goofs only. It's a goofs only voice.
It went from the singing to the change up to this part.
and live. You can give, you can be, you can do whatever
And he's
you
just like, he's riffing over like RPG shop music. Would you believe there's 4 more verses? I don't know if that was the chorus, the verse, or the bridge.
Man, this is a bloated production.
Time went by, we grew up.
Looks like he hates something.
Had my own experience and innocence to corrupt.
Not gay, but not like you.
All those years, I kept your secret locked away, but now you're safe. And it's time this monster must pay. Because I'm a loyal friend. I had to watch you.
He's a Jew celebrating Christmas?
Dude, this is a baffling song.
It's insanity.
This is an insanely baffling song.
You were dead, I'm alive, I win. Corey forever.
Yeah, I'm the winner.
best. Never got raped. Not by Michael Jackson. Who else sing like?
You are free to tell the world to feel ashamed. It's not your fault. What it did ain't right. You're still a kid.
Imagine having to be the producer going like, yeah. This sounds good.
And then Corey's like, can you turn the flute up a little? Can you turn the flute up in the mix?
How'd my vocals sound? Oh yeah, they came through, man.
Yeah, these are great, man.
Yeah, no, they came right through. We're just gonna plug them in, and there they are.
Be what you wanna be.
Pee is poop, poop is pee.
It's not your fault because you were a kid.
He hits Pro Tools, and the machine explodes.
No more pain. Don't you know that you are?
Tell me whether you want.
Don't you know that you are free?
The legend of the 80s, baby.
Oh, I think there's like another
Hold myself accountable, but we were both just kids.
So I'm not really accountable.
Dude, these are like joke song lyrics.
Introduced you
It's
to
like-
the guy who raped you.
It's
Not
like
really. I think it was consensual.
It's like a Trey Parker, Matt Stone song.
Oh, yeah, that's what
what
we're
it
saying,
fucking
too.
sounds like. It
Yeah.
sounds like a fucking joke Matt and Trey song.
He comes in with like a faux rap here. It's great. It's perfect.
This should have happened long ago. A wizard told you this. You
A wizard?
That's what I thought he said too.
A wizard told you
wizard
this.
told you this.
free. Tell the world you'll feel ashamed. It's not that bad and it's not your fault.
Wait, is he doing a bad duet with himself now?
Just live your life
Not
the
that
way
bad.
you wanna live. You were free. Don't be ashamed. Just tell the world and now go out and live. You can be, you can do whatever you want, be whatever you want. Don't you know that you are free?
1, 2, 3. Pee is poop. Poop is pee.
So there you go. That's my truth. The rape of 2 Coreys. Parentheses in the Lost Boys font.
Disgusting. Just
It is
unsettling. It makes your skin crawl. This guy's actually dead, and he just made a whole movie about his supposed friend being a sex freak.
And there are actual there are still fans of Corey Feldman. They think he's doing a good
That's
thing.
shocking.
I don't think so.
That's
Terrible.
that's alarming.